Mods have shaped the gaming industry. There's no denying that. All you have to do is look at Counter-Strike, which became an amazingly successful game based on a simple little mod, one made for Half-Life a long time ago. And there were a lot of other mods made for Half-Life. I remember The Hunger, there was one with Vietnam, there were perhaps hundreds of them. There was a Dragon Ball Z one that was by far one of the best implementations of Dragon Ball Z on the PC. But apart from Counter-Strike, none of them became full-blown games in that same engine. None of them apart from one. The one they don't remember. The one that Valve would have you forget for some reason. The one they call Gunman Chronicles. Playing this today has been a strange experience, I have to say. I've got it on a disc somewhere, but my current PC doesn't have a disk drive, so I just looked up the old demo because man, that demo sure was fine. I played it I think about 15 years ago and it was amazing. There was no other game I actually knew that had weapons you could customize like that, and to be honest, there haven't been many since then. And by many I mean any. But the demo is a very short portion of the game that doesn't even include the full tutorial or that really needs spiraling galaxy in the main menu. And yet, in spite of the fact that the game isn't being sold anywhere, and to be honest, no one's pirating it, it's so ignored that not even the pirates want to touch it, I did manage to find it. And you'll not believe how I found it. Well, you probably do believe and know how I found it, because if you're a fan of the game, that's how you play it now. This game isn't available on Steam. I actually think at one time, maybe it was Gabe Newell himself that said this game wasn't gonna be on Steam, though I don't rightly remember the details. However, you can get it as a mod for Half-Life. Fans of the game just ported all the content to a mod, one that works with the current version of Half-Life on Steam, which is amazing because, well, Gunman, the version I had, didn't really like being in the main menu while you were in the game, so you couldn't really change that many options when you were already playing. It wasn't all that compatible with today's operating systems, but now it is. As a mod it is, and it's the same game and it works perfectly apart from that spinning galaxy in the main menu. So what's this game about? Well, apart from shooting dinosaurs like you see in the background. Well, imagine if you will that it's 1999 and a bunch of people made a mod and they showed it off at Half-Life Mod Expo, which was a thing at one time. And they got such a good reception from it that Sierra said, "Hey, would you like us to publish this for you?" And they said yes. Now mind you, this was a team of modders. They didn't have a studio, so one was given to them. They even got help from Valve itself with a few employees to actually finish this project. Now the end result you probably can't call a narrative masterpiece, a very graphically detailed game even in 2000, or one that has, how shall I put this? This isn't the best game ever made, but yet it has a certain charm to it. And all of that charm comes from, I'd say, two sources. One, its very unique setting. Well, not setting, but it's a combination of settings. You've got a space western with actual western type buildings somewhere around there. You've got robots. You've got underground military installations, scientific installations like Half-Life did, more robots, a tank that you can drive, and dinosaurs. Dinosaurs in what looks to be Aztec or maybe Mayan or Incan-ish ruins on an alien planet. The game was all over the board when it came to style, for its levels, for its artistic inspiration, and I was fine with it because this is a game where you went from planet to planet looking for vengeance on the people that wronged you and, well, sort of unleashed a biologically engineered species of aliens that are out to ruin everything, sort of like the Zerg. Well, it's exactly the Zerg. If you remember in StarCraft 1, some of the rebels, or whatever they were, thought that the Zerg were a weapons test by the Confederacy, and, well, here, these things actually are a weapons test. I won't get into the story because, well, it's not that deep, So I'll just mention that Shodan's little sister shows up at one time. Yes, this was a game where you had an AI with you that you previously fought against before GLaDOS. Now I'm not saying they ripped out the idea from here, but if that cylinder you keep carrying the AI in was a potato, I would have said so. But the thing that really set Gunman apart were the weapons. These were guns like you have not seen in a game before and you will not see in a game again. They were configurable weapons, not the modular stuff you keep seeing in games these days where you can add a bigger muzzle, a larger clip, or a scope to it and voila, it's a brand new gun. No, it's the same gun. This wasn't a crafting system. This was a system that allowed you to customize your weapons. There weren't a lot of them. You had the knife and fists, you had a pistol, you had a shotgun, a machine gun, a rocket launcher, a Polaris blade, a chem gun, and the ammo for the rocket launcher, which could be used as grenades. And each of these weapons had at least 2 firing settings. Well, the machine gun had just 2. The rest had at least 4. And some of them, how shall I put this? They had at least 3 different settings which you could tweak, resulting in maybe 9 different weapons for each one. Now they weren't completely different weapons, but they were different enough to feel like they were different, to feel like, hey, these are weapons that I can customize to use them like I want. 3 of them just absolutely shine. Well, yes, the shotgun can be used to fire as a shotgun, a sort of rifle, and something that just spreads damage all over the place with no accuracy whatsoever. You think a shotgun has crappy accuracy? Try a riot gun. It fires like hell, as in very fast, but just goes everywhere. And the pistol had several settings as well. You could fire it as normal, a pulse, or a charge, or rapid fire, or as a sniper rifle. But the 3 that really shined were the Polaris blade, the missile launcher, well, the mule launcher, and the chem gun. The Polaris blade could be anything from a simple taser to a ball lightning launcher to a lightning gun to a chain lightning gun with different lengths and accuracy to the beam and so many other things. Oh man, was it wonderful and ate through ammo like no one's business. The mule was every rocket launcher and grenade launcher ever made in every video game. And by that I don't mean that it was standard. No, I mean that every weapon that could be called a rocket or grenade launcher, apart from the one that fires spiders in Unreal Tournament 2004, could be recreated with this gun. It could fire homing, it could fire guided, it could fire blind fire spiral missiles, they could explode on impact in proximity, time, they could explode directly or just go in a cluster bomb. What I'm saying is that most of the rocket weapons in Worm, so the entire F1 region, could be remade with just this weapon, and much more. And then came the chem gun. Now this one was my favorite, even though using it was a bit of a hassle. See, in this one you had acid, base, and neutral. 3 chemical compounds, I should say, which you mixed in different concentrations and got different results. You had balls that could ricochet off walls and explode. You had balls that could stick to people and explode. You had balls that could just turn to slime and melt stuff. Well, not sure if they melted stuff because it was Half-Life 1 and the engine didn't really support melting stuff, or you could just have it emanate gas and poison people. It was a bit hard to use because switching between different formulas in battle was a pain in the ass. This game could have really used some presets for all its weapons, for all its settings. It didn't have that. So you were forced to just go behind cover or hide somewhere before you could change a setting and then go back in action and shoot everyone in the head, or melt their face off, your choice. The enemies were the enemies from Half-Life in terms of AI, so they were fairly bright, some of them at least. They would roll, they would hide, they would fire, sometimes they'd run, and I'm a bit jealous of the standard bandit because that bandit could carry 2 pistols. They never fired anything else but standard bolts, but I wish I could carry 2 pistols in this game because it would be awesome. Just imagine it. Rapid fire would be so amazing. I just basically Vegeta them into oblivion. The single player campaign was alright. It wasn't anything special. It was about 6 hours long, so longer than most Call of Duty games, but it showed you what this game could do, what these weapons could be used for. It had that classic mix of puzzles, exploration, and shooting people in the face that Half-Life got us used to, but you just felt that this could have been so much more had they just given me more ammo and more enemies to do with them as I see fit in bigger levels and, well, stuff like that. And that's where the multiplayer came along. And I've got to be honest with you, I never played the multiplayer because, well, I didn't have anywhere to play it. I didn't have internet back then, no one else got the game besides me, but I'm happy to say that at least there are still servers for this game on Steam with the mod version of the game. Now they were empty, so I didn't get a chance to play it. Maybe in the weekends things pick up, but the servers are there. People actually still have an interest in this game, and that's glorious because this game is so much better than a lot of stuff I've played in recent years. AAA stuff, mostly Medal of Honor stuff, some Call of Duty stuff too, some Syndicate stuff, and in terms of weapons, you don't have that many games like it. I dare say none. If you know another game that has weapons that can do so many things like this game allows you to, then please tell me in the comments because I want to play that as well. Also, I encourage you to play Gunman Chronicles. You can find it on ModDB as a Steam mod for Half-Life 1. You just put it in the Half-Life folder, restart Steam, and it'll show up as a Steam mod in your library. I know there's been projects to port this game to source, but most of them have failed. I honestly keep hoping that someone will manage to do another version of it. Maybe not the single player because that would require more scripting, more levels, more work in general, but the multiplayer at least could be ported. Or maybe just those weapons, the idea of those weapons, implemented in any other shape or form. Also, you get to drive a tank around and that's always fun. And you get to shoot dinosaurs. And you get eaten by one if you're not careful. If you enjoyed this show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Or, if you thought it was horrible, then share it with your enemies and make them suffer. We shall be your weapon of vengeance. But if you liked what you saw, you could, I don't know, maybe donate because basically YouTube is horrible at revenue by using the link in the description, or just buy my book. It's a fantasy book about, well, a lot of stuff. I guarantee it won't suck, and if it does suck, you can find me here and complain about it.